Hi guys and gals, Maura Killips here, and today I will be telling you about Hannah Johnson and Maura Killips' journey to the center of the earth. So the first layer that we had to go through was the crust, and that was the easy part. The crust is a solid layer made of silicone, magnesium, aluminum, and iron sodium. The distance to travel through the layer is 35 kilometers, and about 2 miles in we could already tell that it was going to be very hard, and the pressure was very much. The next layer that we went to was the mantle. The mantle is a solid layer and made of the same things that the crust is: silicone, magnesium, aluminum, and iron sodium. Distance to travel through the layer is 2,900 kilometers or 1,802 miles. Going 15 miles per hour, it would take 5 days, and the temperature was 7,232 degrees Fahrenheit, and we could tell that our ship might not make it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the lithosphere, which is contained of the crust in the upper mantle. The distance to travel through the layers is just 100 kilometers, and then going at 15 miles per hour, it would take 4 hours and 8 minutes. There is no temperature listed because it is a variation of two things. So next thing that we're going to talk about is the asthenosphere. That is within the mantle, and it's a solid. It's warm, soft, and it's the plasticky stuff that it was made out of, or that it was composed of, was kind of sticking to our car or ship. And the distance to travel through the layer is 200 kilometers, and going at 12 miles per hour would take you 10 hours and 21 minutes. Our food was starting to get a little stale because of what we had been in the hotness that it had been going to, and our refrigerator was working, but it wasn't working very well. Okay, and then we had the outer core, which is a liquid. It is made out of iron, nickel, and sulfur. Its distance to travel through the layer is 5,100 kilometers, and going at a speed of 8 miles per hour, it would take you 16.5 days, and the temperature would be 9,032 degrees Fahrenheit. This was probably one of the hardest layers that we could have gotten through because some parts of our ship started melting, and we had a cooling system, but it was starting to deteriorate due to the heat and its ability to not keep up. But it was definitely one of the hardest layers for us to go through, although we did still have fun and laugh and joke about everything. So the next and final layer, which was the most unbearable layer that we had seen so far because our cooling system actually malfunctioned, was the inner core. That is a solid, and it is made of iron, nickel, and sulfur. The distance to travel through the layer is 6,398 kilometers, and going at a speed of 5 miles per hour, because that's really all you could go in the heat, it took us 33 days. The temperature was 10,832 degrees. Our food was running extremely low, and we really couldn't bear it anymore. So when we actually got to the center of the earth, it was extremely warm. There wasn't really much that was really worth going down there to study besides some of the rock samples from early formation. And when we were down there, we actually noticed that some parts of our ship, or our car looking thing, had melted through. So we had to blast off and get out. So on our way up, it was much easier than going down because we didn't have to dig a direct path through. We just had to move some of the remaining dirt and stuff out of the way. The only place where that was a problem was on the liquid layer, but we still got through it. And once we got to the outer core, our cooling system actually started working again, so that helped some of the functions on the ship start working. When we got to the top and we were officially, I guess you could say, out of the ground of the earth, it felt good to be back where temperatures were modern and not 10,832 degrees. It was about 40 something, which kind of sucked, but when we got back, our ship was in very bad